Have you ever been with a man who gets angry, but instead of pushing you away, he pulls you closer in the most unexpected way? Carl Jung, the legendary psychologist, believed that anger isn't always what it seems. In fact, there's one specific behavior, when he's upset, that secretly reveals just how deeply in love he really is. And no, it's not grand gestures, sweet apologies, or even passionate arguments. It's something far more subtle and far more telling. We've all experienced those tense moments, when tempers flare, words sting, and you wonder if he even cares. But what if I told you that his anger could actually be proof of his love? That beneath the frustration lies a hidden attachment so strong, it only surfaces when he's emotionally triggered? Today, we're going into Jungian psychology to decode this mysterious reaction. The one thing he does when angry that means he's not just invested, he's unconsciously devoted to you. Carl Jung, the pioneering Swiss psychiatrist, introduced a revolutionary concept that forever changed how we understand human emotions: the shadow self. According to Jung, the shadow represents the hidden, often unconscious parts of our psyche, the traits, desires, and emotions we suppress because they don't align with our self-image or societal expectations. This repression doesn't make them disappear. Instead, they simmer beneath the surface, waiting for moments of emotional intensity to erupt. Anger, in particular, is one of the most common masks the shadow wears. But here's the paradox. What looks like rage on the surface can often be something far more tender underneath. When a man is deeply in love, his fear of vulnerability, rejection, or loss can become so overwhelming that it distorts into frustration, irritation, or even outbursts. The emotions he can't articulate, devotion, need, fear of abandonment, find expression through anger because, in that moment, it feels safer than exposing the rawness of his attachment. This is where Jung's theory becomes especially revealing in relationships. Anger isn't just a reaction to a present conflict. It's often a defense mechanism against deeper, unspoken fears. Think about it. When someone is truly indifferent, they walk away. But when they're emotionally invested, their anger becomes a twisted form of engagement. A man who loves deeply may snap over something seemingly trivial, not because he's angry about the issue itself, but because it subconsciously triggers his fear of losing you. His shadow self takes over, and what spills out isn't just frustration, it's an unconscious plea for reassurance. Jung called this phenomenon projection, where we displace our own unacknowledged emotions onto others. In love, this might look like him picking fights over minor things because he's actually terrified of how much he cares. His irritation isn't about the dishes left in the sink or the unanswered text. It's about the unspoken question. Do you love me as much as I love you? To understand this dynamic in action, consider a classic example. A man who grows distant after an argument, only to return with an intensity that borders on possessiveness. On the surface, his behavior might seem contradictory, cold one moment, heated the next. But through a Jungian lens, it makes perfect sense. His withdrawal isn't indifference. It's an attempt to regain control over emotions that feel too consuming. And when he re-engages, sometimes with anger, it's because the thought of truly losing you is unbearable. His shadow can't tolerate the vulnerability of saying, I need you, so instead, it says, you're hurting me. This is why some of the most passionate relationships are also the most volatile. The stronger the love, the more terrifying the prospect of loss, and the more likely that fear will disguise itself as anger. Jung's work teaches us that the emotions we struggle to voice don't vanish, they emerge in other forms. If you can learn to see beyond the surface of a man's anger, to recognize the vulnerability, the fear, the unspoken devotion, you'll uncover a truth that most people miss. His rage isn't the absence of love. In its own chaotic way, it might just be the proof of it. The most telling sign that a man is deeply in love isn't found in grand romantic gestures or poetic declarations. It's hidden in how he handles conflict. When tensions rise and emotions run high, does he shut down, stonewall, or disappear? Or does he engage, even clumsily, in an attempt to resolve things? This distinction is crucial. A man who stays present during difficult moments, who keeps trying to communicate despite the messiness, is demonstrating something far more meaningful than patience or good manners. He's revealing an unconscious commitment, a level of emotional investment so deep that walking away isn't an option, even when staying is hard. This doesn't mean his approach will always be perfect. He might fumble over his words, say the wrong thing, or let frustration slip into his tone. But the key is that he's still there, still trying. That persistence is the shadow's way of signaling what the conscious mind might not yet be ready to admit. You matter too much to let this go. Contrast this with toxic anger, which is ultimately about control, not connection. Yelling, name-calling, or punishing silence are tactics of disengagement, ways to dominate or withdraw rather than truly resolve. Healthy anger, on the other hand, even when imperfect, is anchored in a desire to mend rather than wound. Think of the difference between a man who raises his voice because he's overwhelmed by emotions he can't articulate versus one who uses volume as a weapon. The former might snap, "I wish you'd just listen to me," while the latter might coldly declare, "You never get it, so why bother?" One is a flawed attempt at bridging the gap. The other is a surrender to separation. Jung's concept of the anima and animus, the inner feminine and masculine energies each person carries, helps explain why this matters. When a man faces conflict head-on, he's not just arguing with you. He's integrating his own anima, the part of him that values relationship over ego. The man who avoids or attacks is still trapped in the shadow, afraid of what that vulnerability will cost him. Consider a real-life scenario. A couple has a heated disagreement about plans that fell through. One partner, feeling disappointed, reacts with passive-aggressive comments. The man who's emotionally detached might shrug and exit the room, leaving the tension to fester. But the man who's secretly deeply in love? He'll likely match the frustration at first, maybe even say something sharp, but then, almost against his own instinct, he'll circle back. "Look, I know we're both upset, but I don't want to just drop this." It's not the eloquence of his words that matters. It's the refusal to let the rift stand. In that moment, his anger isn't a wall. It's a bridge, however unsteady. He stays to argue because leaving would hurt more, because on some level, he'd rather risk the mess of confrontation than the void of disconnection. This behavior is so revealing because it defies the easy path. Walking away is simple. Silence requires no effort. But to stand in the fire of a difficult conversation, to keep reaching for resolution even when tempers flare, that's the mark of someone who's not just attached, but profoundly so. It's the shadow's rebellion against the fear of loss, a way of saying, "I'm all in, even when the words won't come." And that's the irony Jung understood best. Sometimes, love speaks loudest when it's dressed as anger, not because it's trying to push you away, but because it can't bear to let you go. When faced with a partner's anger that stems from deep attachment, how you respond can either deepen your connection or reinforce destructive patterns. The instinctive reactions, to match his intensity with your own anger, to shut down emotionally, or to dismiss his feelings as irrational, often backfire because they miss the vulnerable core beneath the outburst. Instead, the most transformative approach begins with a simple but powerful shift, recognizing that his anger isn't about you, but about the unconscious fears and needs it represents. When he speaks in frustration, listen for what he isn't saying: the fear of inadequacy, the terror of abandonment, or the helplessness of loving someone so much it threatens his sense of control. Your ability to hear these silent whispers beneath the noise will determine whether the moment becomes a breakthrough or a breaking point. The first rule is to resist the temptation to escalate. Meeting anger with anger only confirms his subconscious belief that emotional expression leads to conflict rather than connection. Similarly, dismissing his emotions, "You're overreacting," or "calm down," invalidates his experience and pushes him deeper into his shadow. Instead, try acknowledging the emotion without judgment. "I can see you're really upset about this," or "This seems important to you." These phrases don't require you to agree with his perspective, but they do something far more valuable. They signal that his feelings matter to you. This validation can act like a pressure valve, diffusing the intensity because what he's truly seeking isn't to win an argument, but to know that his emotions are seen and accepted. Jung's concept of shadow work becomes essential here. Most men aren't taught to articulate vulnerable emotions, so their love, fear, and need often get trapped in the shadow, emerging as anger because it's the only socially acceptable outlet they've been given. You can help by gently guiding him toward greater emotional awareness, not in the heat of conflict, but in calmer moments. Ask open-ended questions that invite self-reflection. "What did that situation really make you feel?" Or, "What's the hardest part about this for you?" The goal isn't to therapize him, but to create a safe space where his shadow can emerge without fear of rejection. Over time, this practice helps him reintegrate those disowned parts of himself, making anger less necessary as a means of expression. Consider this scenario. After a long day, he snaps at you for a minor oversight. Instead of retaliating or withdrawing, you respond with, "You seem really stressed. Is there something bigger bothering you?" This simple question does three things. It de-escalates the immediate tension, it reassures him that you're on his team, and it opens a door for him to explore the real source of his frustration. Maybe it's work pressure, maybe it's an old wound your action inadvertently touched, or maybe it's the terrifying realization of how much he depends on your love. Whatever the truth, your calm curiosity gives him permission to uncover it himself, which is far more powerful than any lecture about communication skills. The paradox of loving someone with a strong shadow is that their deepest fears, of abandonment, of unworthiness, often create the very behaviors that could push you away. Your role isn't to fix or tolerate unhealthy patterns, but to consistently reflect back the truth, that his vulnerability is safe with you. When he sees that his anger doesn't repel you but instead becomes a bridge to greater understanding, something profound shifts. The shadow begins to dissolve not through force, but through the slow, steady light of acceptance. And that's where Jung's greatest wisdom lies, not in the elimination of our dark corners, but in learning to bring them into relationship, where even our storms become part of the dance of intimacy. What if the very moments that feel like relationship roadblocks are actually secret passageways to deeper love? Carl Jung's wisdom reveals a truth that defies conventional dating advice. Anger isn't always a warning sign. Sometimes, it's the most honest form of devotion. When a man stays engaged through conflict, when his frustration carries the unspoken weight of his fear to lose you, what looks like fire may actually be his heart's clumsy attempt to keep you close.